with everything that's going on right now on the Gaza Strip with the war between Palestine and Israel, there's a lot of conversations that's being had on social media, all across social media, from Instagram to YouTube to Twitter or whatever they call it, X now, Facebook. But the other day, Tariq Nasheed was on Twitter, and he was having a conversations in one of the spaces that he was in, and the white caller called up trying to be divisive and get Tariq Nasheed to take a side in the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. And the guy, well, he was asking all kinds of questions, and Tariq, he basically stayed in the middle and voiced his opinion on what black people should do. And it got real interesting. Let's check out what the conversation was about. We'll come right back.
Metro, what's up, brother?
Yes, sir, bro. Yeah, just had a question. Why do you have such an isolationist policy when it comes to the Israeli-Palestine conflict?
I have a what policy?
Like you're basically you're just like, I'm neither on either side. I'm just like, I'm minding my own business.
Right. I'm just giving the same energy. Same energy. Treat others as they treat you. I'm treating them the same way they treat us.
Don't you think it's, the enemy of the enemy is my friend policy is better?
How about the golden rule? I'm gonna treat everybody like they treat us. When shit going on over here with us, ain't nobody saying nothing, ain't nobody helping us, ain't nobody doing nothing. So I'm gonna let them do what they do. They let us do what we do, we'll let them do what they do. Why is it our obligation to hop up and put a cape on?
Well, it's not so much that you have to put a cape on. It's like you're bringing more allies to your side, because there's one side that's clearly, being a culture vulture to your, culture, and
Which side is that?
I think it's very clear which side that is.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
Because the side that has the most music producers in the industry.
Oh, okay. Because when I look at both sides, it's looking kind of funny. And I talked about this the other day because when we have police officers who are trained to whoop down on us, they get trained over there in Israel. When we go in certain stores, some of these store owners who call the cops on us are Palestinian. The cops, the people who called the police on George Floyd were Palestinian. There was a Palestinian serial killer running around Flint, stabbing black folks. A lot of these little liquor stores that's in these neighborhoods exploiting us and calling the cops and beating us down. Some of these are Palestinians. So
yeah, but
we
what does
don't.
that have to do with the movie itself? Like, I don't see any Palestinians getting involved in the hip hop industry except DJ Khaled.
Yeah, he's in the industry, but hell, the music industry is run by a whole bunch of different people. But that's neither here nor there. All of them are anti us. So why should we put on the cape for any of them?
No, I'm not saying to put on the cape. I'm saying to kind of like, gain more allies in the fight. Especially
what allies? I mean, they had a million years to be allies. If they haven't been allies to us now, they're not going to start.
So now, as you can see, Tariq Nasheed has taken the same path as Dr. Umar Johnson, and we know that it's well documented that these two brothers had their beefs with each other and wasn't getting along. But in this conflict, these guys are on the same side. They're in agreement. Let's check out what Dr. Umar Johnson had to say in regards to the conflict on the Gaza Strip, and we'll come right back.
Million Ethiopians who've been murdered. You got Sudanese who have died. Ain't nobody said nothing about the Sudanese. Ain't nobody said nothing about the Ethiopians. Ain't nobody said nothing about the Congolese. But you want me to cry tears for the Arabs? Listen, I hope the Arabs in the West Bank in Gaza, I hope they get all they get. I hope they are protected. I hope nobody dies. I hope those babies' lives are safe. I hope the women are cared for. I hope that there's no bloodshed, no violence. But if you think I'm going to take time out of struggling for African people, if you think I'm going to stop my agenda to liberate my people to go cry for people who don't cry for me, if you think I'm going to stop what I'm doing and pay attention to what's going on over there when y'all don't even pay attention to what's going on in Africa. Y'all don't pay attention to what's going on in Ethiopia. Y'all don't pay attention to what's going on in the Congo. The greatest humanitarian crisis in the world is in the Congo, not the West Bank.
So as Tariq Nasheed spoke, he spoke about basically, minding his business as an African American. He said, I want to stay out of it. The guy was asking him about what do you want to be allied with somebody, and Tariq said, well, both groups has had hundreds of years to ally with blacks, Africans in Africa, blacks in America. A lot of them come open up stores in our communities, and they don't take part or really do anything with us within the community. They just come to extract resources from the community. He also alluded to the small hat group taking advantage of the black community, and Tariq basically said, well, we already know that. That's stuff that we already know. I don't, I sympathize with anybody that's dying in the war. We sympathize with that, but that's not our issue. Our issue as African Americans is resources here for our people, and it goes on deaf ears. We also heard Umar Johnson when Umar Johnson spoke about the conflicts that's going on over in Africa and different places, that's not on Fox News. Nobody cares about what's happening in the Congo with over 20 million people displaced. Nobody cares about the conflicts that's happening in Ethiopia. Nobody cares about the conflicts that's happening in Haiti. Those go on deaf ears. Right now, we're supposed to stop doing everything that we're doing to comment on the Palestinian and Israeli conflict. And if you say anything wrong, you'll be punished. Because there's a certain group that control all the media and control everything else, and you better be on their side. Well, as black Americans, we're choosing to stay out of the way. We're choosing to stay out of the way. We have a heavy heart for those that lose their lives because we're human beings and we actually have souls. So people dying is tragic. But I live in Philadelphia, and for the last 5 years, we've averaged 500 homicides. Places like Chicago and Birmingham, Alabama, we've been striving to get resources, but we've watched the Democratic Party and President Joe Biden give our resources to Ukraine and the Ukraine-Russian conflict. We watched them give our resources to immigrants, creating sanctuary cities in places like New York City, Chicago, Philadelphia, and relocating immigrants into black communities and providing resources for these people. We're not even providing resources for the elderly or the homeless in the cities that we live in, that we pay taxes in. This is what we've been subjected to. So right now, we don't have time to worry about somebody else's conflict when we're in conflict ourselves. And we're on the battlefield ourselves. And a lot of our stuff has been going on deaf ears as black Americans and Africans spread out throughout the globe. We can't talk what goes on in Jamaica, what goes on in Brazil, black Brazil, and so many different places. These conflicts that go on in Zimbabwe and everything else that don't make the news. It's not making the news. So sometime down the line, there'll be some type of resolution, and there'll be resources being allocated to Israel. There'll be resources allocated to Palestine to rebuild. But there is no resources being allocated to the African American community based off of our plight. There is no resources being allocated here. So how can we stand 10 toes down and champion for something going over there when we're in conflict ourselves? These are the questions that I'm asking Americans that want to cancel black Americans for not speaking up for the war. Do we sympathize for the loss of life? Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially women and children. We sympathize for that. But as the black Americans, we got a lot on our plate over here, man. So leave your comments in the comments section. Let me know what you guys think, man. Subscribe to Street Media TV. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.